Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have Rare Element Resources Limited. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol REEMF and is a publicly traded strategic materials company focused on delivering rare earth products for technology, energy, and defense applications by advancing the Bear Lodge Critical Rare Earth Project in northeast Wyoming. Bear Lodge is a significant mineralized district containing many of the less common, more valuable critical rare earths that are essential for high-strength permanent magnets, electronics, fiber optics, laser systems for medical technology and defense, as well as technologies like electric vehicles, solar panels, and wind turbines. Today, we'll be speaking with Brent Berg, is an environmental engineer with over 25 years of experience in the mining and mineral processing industry. Brent was appointed President and Chief Executive Officer and a Director of Rare Element Resources in November of 2022. Brent previously worked for Taseko Mines as general manager of the Florence Copper Project and for Excelsior Mining Corporation as vice president of sustainability, health, and safety. Prior to that, Brent spent over 20 years at Cameco Corporation in various roles, including president of Cameco Resources, where he was responsible for oversight of the company's U.S. in situ uranium mining operations in Wyoming and Nebraska. So we are thrilled to welcome Brent today to the Emerging Growth Conference. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Anna.
Well, it's thrilling to introduce you, and I'm excited to get into this presentation and Q&A with you. Let's start off by talking about rare element resources. It has a very large rare earth mineralized district in northeast Wyoming called Bear Lodge, and a proprietary separation and recovery process for rare earths that it is advancing in conjunction with your partners, General Atomics, and the Department of Energy. So talk a little bit about both the Bear Lodge project and your technology.
Absolutely. Thanks, Anna. So let me start first with the Bear Lodge deposit. So it is located in northeast Wyoming. It's just off Interstate 90 and just north of the community of Sundance. It's a very well-defined and drilled mineralized district. There are over 500 core holes and 285,000 feet of drill core. The deposit, of course, is rich in magnet materials, which are essential for high-tech applications. We've done an extensive amount of work on the Bear Lodge project, and we thoroughly understand its mineralization. Back in 2014, the company completed a previous feasibility study that showed a mine life of over 30 years. We're in a great location, in a great state, so Wyoming understands mining. They have a long history in the sector, and they're very pro-business focused. The Bear Lodge project itself has good access to rail, roads, power, gas. There's a ready and able workforce, as well as supportive communities. In terms of the separation and recovery technology, it was first developed by Rare Element Resources, and it's been advanced further by General Atomics. Some of the key things, there's a first-of-a-kind real-time control software that's been developed for optimization at each step of the process. The process is designed to recycle all chemicals, leading to both reduced costs as well as reduced waste as compared to traditional separation and extraction practices. We'll produce commercial-grade products, including a 99.5% pure neodymium praseodymium oxide, as well as other rare earth oxides. There have been 2 successful pilot tests that have been completed with General Atomics affiliate in Germany. And right now the focus is on moving to a demonstration scale plant that'll be located in Upton, Wyoming. And with the demonstration plant, we'll confirm design parameters as well as economics for a commercial scale operation.
Now, for those of us who don't know about them, tell us a little bit about what makes rare earth so special and critical to today's burgeoning economy and technology.
Absolutely. So rare earths provide vital inputs for a vast range of future-facing products. They're really known for their unique magnetic, phosphorescent, and catalytic properties, such as infrared absorbing glass used in night vision goggles, high-powered lasers used for everything from slicing steel to removing tattoos, and small, high-powered magnets like those in your mobile phone. They're critical in the performance of your mobile phone and your computer, but they're also in green technologies like electric vehicles and wind turbines, and essential for reaching carbon reduction goals. To give you just a sense of what they do, back in 1945, scientists constructed the world's first programmable general-purpose digital computer. It was nicknamed the Giant Brain, and the computer weighed more than 27 tons. It was roughly 2/3 the size of a tennis court. And today your smartphone boasts more computing power, and it fits snugly in the palm of your hand. And we owe much of this miniaturization of electronic technology in large part to the exceptional magnetic power of rare earths. They're also used to enhance the performance of other metals, allowing things to be smaller and of course, more efficient.
Wow, I didn't know they were in so many needed things that we use every day. So when it comes to these materials, where are they produced? And how is the U.S. equipped to meet this very long-term clean energy goal that they have?
Yeah, so unfortunately, right now, the U.S. is dependent on China for rare earth supply. China currently dominates all aspects of rare earth element production and magnet production. While some rare earths are mined outside of China today, most are refined and manufactured in that country. So to give you a sense, in 2022, 65% of rare earths were mined in China. Over 86% were refined there, and over 90% of manufacturing was done in China. Today, there's no U.S. source for separated and refined rare earth elements. So because of their dominance in the supply chain, China really has the ability to set rare earth prices and control the market. And that domination has identified, an issue of strategic vulnerability with respect to both geopolitical and trade issues that could make availability of key defense and green applications risky. So really developing an innovative domestic separation and extraction capacity was the driving force behind our relationship with both Department of Energy and General Atomics. And, our team's response has been to demonstrate this unique, high-efficiency process to provide a domestic capability to separate and refine individual rare earth elements. We plan to develop the Bear Lodge project for a domestic source of rare earth element materials, and of course, support establishing a domestic magnet and electric motor manufacturing supply chain here in the U.S.
Well, yes, that's very important to bring it here. Let's talk a little bit more about the General Atomics. So it's a huge private high-tech company with many defense and commercial applications. So how did you come to be in partnership with them?
Yeah, great question, Anna. So General Atomics uses rare earths in a number of applications, so both in defense and private sector. I'd say they were one of the very first companies that realized that the United States needed to develop a domestic source for rare earths. They chose our company in the Bear Lodge project and have taken an equity interest to demonstrate that commitment. I believe they're the perfect partner because they've some of the brightest minds in the country, and they have a history of bringing difficult technical projects into commercialization. They also, have very strong government relationships, which is what brought the Department of Energy to our project. and resulted in the DOE committing $22 million to the construction of our demonstration plant to be built in Upton, Wyoming.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so we want to know a little bit more about your proprietary technology and the demonstration plant and your goals for that project.
Yeah, great. So we will demonstrate the separation of neodymium and praseodymium used for high-strength permanent magnets, as well as other rare earth elements at high purity. So we'll use this novel high-efficiency process that recycles reagents and produces a 99.5% pure neodymium praseodymium oxide, as well as other rare earth oxides, including lanthanum, SEG, which is combined samarium, europium, and gadolinium, and heavy rare earth element concentrates, which would be subject to some further refining. The demonstration will provide us a clear pathway for the separation of other rare earths, including dysprosium and terbium and other essential heavy rare earth elements. We'll demonstrate a process capable of treating rare earth oxide concentrate from other sources, so either in the United States or obtained as a result of initiatives to obtain total rare earth oxide from allied countries. The process, of course, recycles all chemicals, which leads to reduced costs and process waste as compared to current practices. I mentioned the first-of-a-kind real-time control software that's been developed from first principles for process design and optimization. General Atomics, of course, has done extensive pilot plant testings using Bear Lodge material. The company's successfully produced high-grade rare earth products. And really now the goal is to scale it up through the demonstration plant. So by running the demonstration plant, we'll be able to refine the process. At the same time, we're going to generate the data we need to develop a design as well as complete the economic assessment before we move to commercial production. In terms of timeline, we're expecting permits and the license from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to be finalized mid-year this year, with construction starting later this year and operations beginning the first half of 2024.
Fantastic. Talk about the advantages of your relationship with, you mentioned General Atomics as well as Synchron, and how does it benefit the company?
Yeah, so there are a few things that come to mind for me. I'd say first, General Atomics has brought the full force of their technology development team to this project. So they've improved upon the initial design, and they've demonstrated in pilot testing that the proprietary technology does indeed work. Second, I would say General Atomics is truly vested in this project. So I've seen this firsthand myself through their overall project management of the demonstration project, as well as securing the Department of Energy funding and their ongoing relationships and reporting with the Department of Energy. And more generally speaking, their desire to see this project proceed and succeed at it. General Atomics is a defense and diversified technology company that they have a deep understanding of rare earths. They know what they're used for, and they certainly know the importance of establishing a domestic magnet and electric motor supply chain.
And Brent, talk a little bit about what the thing was about Rare Element Resources that made you want to join the team.
Yeah, so I joined the team in November of 2022. I've had a long career in the mining sector with 25 years in mining and mineral processing, working in both the uranium industry as well as copper. And I don't think it was really one thing that made me want to join the team. Rather there were a number of things. So I had previously worked in Wyoming, and I knew of the company from my time in Wyoming. and of course of the Bear Lodge rare earth deposit. So I knew it was a legitimate mineral resource for development. Having worked in the uranium industry, I knew of General Atomics, and I knew that they had this great capability to advance technology, which is, absolutely critical to this project. And I think, finally, Anna, the other thing that comes to mind is I can't imagine a better state to advance a project like this. Wyoming, as I said before, is it's got all the things that tick the list, and they're pro-business, and just a wonderful state to work in.
I bet. I've never been to Wyoming. I've heard great things. I'm sure it's beautiful. And what an exciting project, and a true ability to change the rare earth element industry in the U.S. So let's take some questions now. We have a question from Eric Ford. Eric says, your company has an F at the end, so this typically signifies that the company trades on another market. So are you currently trading on other markets?
Yeah, good question. So we just trade on OTC. Historically, the company did trade on other markets back in the early to mid 2000s.
Okay. And Tom says he doesn't see much news on your company on the OTC Markets website. So how can he get some updates?
Yeah, so we just refreshed the website. Of course, I'm new to the company, and I've initiated a push to reach out to all our stakeholders and give them some better updates as to what is going on. We have. If you want to sign up for our email updates, any kind of press release or information that we have about the company is now going to be pushed out on a routine basis. So, I would invite you to sign up for our updates. Finally, we're a pretty small company. So if you make a call to our general line, it's probably going to make its way to me, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody individually who wants an update on what we're doing. I think it's exciting times for rare element resources, both with the Bear Lodge project, but really the demonstration plant is really starting to gain traction, and we're excited to break ground in Wyoming and really start the process for developing a hub for rare earth elements in the state.
And in the U.S., I bet. We have a question from Roy Berg. He wants you to clarify your recovery technology. Who was it invented by and advanced by whom? And was this General Atomics? And who currently controls it?
Yeah, great question. So the recovery technology was developed by Rare Element Resources initially, and it has been further advanced with our partnership with General Atomics. General Atomics does hold a license to the technology, and we have patents, of course, for the separation and extraction process. There are 4 discrete steps. If you visit our webpage, you can see the different steps involved in the separation and extraction of neodymium, praseodymium, as well as other rare earth oxides. But that gives you a kind of a high-level snapshot of what we have developed.
And Chris Morgan wants you to talk a little bit more specifically with General Atomics, and what is their role? Are they an equity partner? Are they receiving a percentage of production? And how are they benefiting?
Yeah, so General Atomics is our majority shareholder. They own roughly 54% of the outstanding shares of the company. And they're the lead on the project management side of the project with Department of Energy. So we have a consortium of companies that are working together to deliver the demonstration project, the $44 million project slated for Upton, Wyoming. And General Atomics provides both project management and reporting interaction with Department of Energy, as well as a lot of technical support in terms of process development and making sure that at the end of the project we're successful and meet all of the project goals with Department of Energy.
Perfect. We have a few questions from Floyd concerning your Bear Lodge project. First, is it 100% owned and any JVs around?
Yeah, great question. So it is 100% owned. It's 100% owned by Rare Element Resources. There's no joint ventures to speak of, and we're actively working to advance that project to the next stage. We think it's probably one of the best rare earth deposits in North America, and we really understand the mineralization there, and we think it can be just a great source of rare earths for both the state and the U.S.
And what stage is it currently in? And have any studies been done to demonstrate any reserves?
Yeah, so there is actually a historic pre-feasibility study completed back in 2014. That technical report is available on our website, and you can find a link under, I believe it's the investor page. And we are working, the team is working on what we need to do to update the studies and advance the permitting further. Permitting was halted back in 2016 when the market softened, but we're looking at what we need to do to get the permitting going again for the mine and get things moving.
Randall Coy wants to know, what is the status of licensing requests for operations of the pilot plant?
Yeah, so status of licensing requests, we have all the needed permits from the state of Wyoming. The final license we need is from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It's a source material license. If you look on the NRC's website, they will tell you that they expect to issue the license in July of this year. There were a couple of intermediate steps, one in February in which they provided their environmental comments, and then one in March where they provided their safety evaluation report. Those were provided to the company on schedule. We've responded with their requests for additional information on schedule, and all signs lead to having that license in July. That license kind of kicks us into the next phase with Department of Energy, where they will do a 1-month environmental review, and once complete, we can get the go-ahead to begin construction.
And Roman Linu wants to know, what will your current funding get you through to the commercialization stage?
So current funding is intended for the demonstration plant. And so we've got a $44 million plant, and we're fully funded for that. Of course, commercialization and for the mine and a commercial plant will require further funding.
And we have Brett Wade wants to know, is your recovery and separation technology you spoke about a revenue vertical to be used by other explorers and producers, or is it strictly for in-house refinement and production?
Great question. So right now it's slated for in-house refinement and production. Obviously with the demonstration project, we are looking at what could be done once this campaign is done, and are there other feed sources and projects that could be brought on for a follow-on project with the demonstration. There's quite honestly no reason why we couldn't look at other feed sources and produce products from that demonstration plant. So we're actively looking for those opportunities.
And another question from Roman. Do you foresee a time where your company may lease the proprietary technology behind the separation process to other mining companies to generate revenue?
Not at this time, but that is a possibility. If you look at where things are in the U.S. right now, there is no separation and extraction facilities operating today. We intend, of course, to demonstrate that our proprietary technology works at scale and get the necessary data together for a commercial plant. Toll processing is clearly an opportunity for the company and for the state and domestically as well in the U.S.
And Philip Haas wants to know, when will construction start in Upton?
Yeah, so construction is really dependent on a couple of key milestones. So the first one I mentioned is receipt of the source material license from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So we expect that in July sometime. And that moves us into the next go, no-go decision point with the Department of Energy. So they'll conduct their 1-month environmental review of the project. Once complete, that will advance the next stage of the project, which is construction. So we anticipate later this fall, probably November sometime.
And will Rare Elements go private in the future?
Great question. At this time, there's no plan to do that. We're a publicly traded company, and the plan is to maintain our status as a publicly traded company at this present time.
A few questions from Kurt Gomez. How far from revenue are you? And can you give a timeline?
Yeah, I think, Kurt, we're away from revenue. I mean, the demonstration plant, of course, we will produce oxide, but it's not intended to be a revenue maker. It's intended to demonstrate the technology. So, even if we were to sell the oxides we produce, it's not going to generate a significant revenue stream. Really, the revenue stream comes from developing the mine and a commercial plant, and we're probably a number of years away from that. It's probably a 5 to 6 year time frame to permit, build the mine, and plant and get things up and running at the very least.
And how many revenue verticals are there? Is it simply production, or are there any licensed technology revenue?
Yeah, I mean, there could be licensed technology revenue. I mean, if you look at other countries, they have a desire to secure their own domestic supply, and so I could see a time when we turn to allied countries and we license the technology so that they have the capacity to separate and extract rare earths as well.
And you touched on this, but I want to address everyone's questions. Daryl Greer says, as of 3/31, you had about 14 million in cash, and you're burning about 8 million per year. So how far from revenue are you, and how much more money will you need to raise in the market?
Yeah, so we're fully funded for the demonstration project, and that's our near-term goal. As far as commercialization, you're talking a much bigger number for the commercial mine and plant, and so there would obviously be a need to raise additional funding. But again, I would go back to my comment that we've probably got a 6-year time horizon to get through permitting for the mine and a commercial plant, as well as all the the related technical studies to advance the project.
And last question due to time from Richard Basham. Can you one more time outline that financial relationship you have with General Atomics?
Yeah, so they're the majority shareholder of the company. They invested in rare element resources in the past through two individual rights offerings, and own approximately 54% at this given time.
Wonderful. Well, Brent, we only have a few moments left. Do you want to sum things up for our audience?
Yeah, sure. So I think, our company, along with General Atomics and Department of Energy, we've got what we believe is the latest and best technology to improve the way rare earths are separated and extracted. With the Bear Lodge mineral deposit, you have an advanced project that's well drilled and defined. It's got a potential for a long life, and there are additional targets for resource expansion. Its strength is really in its concentration of magnet materials, which are essential for today's high-tech applications. And, we believe that the separation and extraction technology, along with the Bear Lodge deposit, have the ability to be the cornerstone for a secure U.S. supply chain and begin moving the U.S. towards independence with respect to rare earths in the United States.
Real important stuff here. Brent, thank you so much for joining us on the conference, and we'd love to have you back in the future with some updates.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with our next presenter.